Welcome everybody. This is our first reaction to the Demon Slayer Roar of Victory movie. Obviously, it was a movie that kind of recapped the final episode of the Swordsmith Village arc and had the premiere of the first episode of the newest season, the Hashira Training story arc. So generally, we'll kind of just go over our initial reactions, kind of some favorite moments, and then get into some different predictions for the next season. So honestly, I'll kind of just jump into like my initial reactions. I would love to hear where you guys were at. I'm not gonna lie, I thought the beginning was pretty epic. I thought because again, we've done a reaction on the Swordsmith Village story arc as a whole, so I think let's just talk purely about the new premiere episode. I didn't think that it was gonna have any action in it at all, and I thought the opening scene with the Wind Hashira and the Serpent Hashira with Sanemi and with Iguro was insane. That was like the coolest, 5-10 minutes of the whole episode, in my opinion. But yeah, I would love to hear you guys' opinion on that. I thought it was awesome. It was cool seeing them fight together, two Hashira, and they both seem pretty strong. But yeah, what did y'all think about that kind of opening scene?
Yeah, I loved it. Like I thought it was the fact that we just see him kind of jump in and they're just making fun of the two uh um lower level demon slayers with them was just part of part of their charm. But the fact that they get in and they both are just like, oh, okay, this is crazy. We haven't seen this many demons kind of form up in one place at one time. So just like be on guard. And then all of a sudden demons start flying out everywhere and they are just not even blinking. They're just taking him out. The how many times did we see Sanemi just grab a demon and just like do like an execution style on him? That was insane to me. I thought it was so cool seeing them kind of fight and getting different breathing techniques and styles. I thought that was awesome. I loved it. I thought it was a great intro. Couldn't be stronger.
Dude,
Yeah,
Tsunemi is cold, bro.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say, with Wind Hashira is cold, man. He's a cool dude.
Brutal.
Well, and to add to that, like it's cool to see. I felt like first season doesn't really it has Shinobu and Gyu, and they're like polar opposites. Mugen Train has Rengoku, that's it. Entertainment District has Tengen, that's it. And then Swordsmith Village has Mitsuri and Muchiro, and they're completely opposite. And so, like, I felt like it's been these polar opposite Hashira, like, teaming up. And then this episode was like, okay, these two, like, are friends. And they're, like, probably get along in almost every opinion that they have. And just went crazy. So, backtracking a second to I forgot how much I cried during the finale of the last season. So I was, like, sobbing in the theater. And then I, like, transitioned to, like, these two homies just, like, going crazy in this mansion, bro. Just, like, slaughtering demons. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I don't know if I'm emotionally prepared for this episode, but yeah, it was cool to see.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think like that was something that I thought was awesome, was watching them fight together, right? Like you're saying, a lot of these different Hashira, like they have different styles and stuff. It almost felt like Sanemi and Iguro, they're used to each other's styles, right? I feel like Sanemi would just unleash these crazy powerful attacks. And again, going back to what you said, Lucas, there were tons of demons in that mansion castle thing, I thought it was crazy when they're standing in the basement and the camera's kind of like zooming around them and you can just see like demons everywhere. I was like, dude, it's about to go down. This is so sick. And watching the two of them fight together kind of in like tandem, like one would just like take out just tons and then another horde would just jump in and the other one take out those guys, It was cool to see the teamwork. So I thought it was a crazy strong opening. And the part that really like got me on the edge of my seat was they're chasing this girl and the demon all the way up to the top of the castle, and then they get to the top of the castle and they like are running. The demon jumps over the side into the middle, and then they like are running, jump over the side, and then you're looking down and it's not the inside of the mansion, but it's the Infinity Castle. I literally like was grabbing the sides of the seat around me, and I was like, dude, we went there. Like I didn't think we were gonna go there at the beginning of the episode, but straight up like Infinity Castle appearance. And again, they kind of tease you, like you don't really see much of it, but the fact that like they're kind of showing that that's where they're headed was so cool, like right off the bat, you know.
Yeah, the writers knew what they were doing with that one. That's all I have to say is that they knew exactly what they were like trying to tease.
Well, and I think, like, for example, my two brothers didn't go see this movie. Like, they haven't yet, and they're not planning to, because the last one was such a slow intro. And so, like, this one being, like, crazy initially, like, right off the bat, like, an epic finale with an epic intro they're completely don't correlate with each other. I was like, dang, I might have to go see this again. Like, that was crazy, you know? So.
Yeah, no, I would definitely go see it again because it was, I don't know, there was definitely some action sequences that were amazing. Obviously, I feel like there were, I can agree, like it does feel a little bit like the first episode of Swordsmith Village in the sense of like we're always just watching Tanjiro like wake up from like being, you know, in a coma for a few days post upper rank demon fight, you know, like it does kind of happen. But I do feel like they did a better job of getting off to a quick start than kind of opening up with, you know, oh, here's Tanjiro at the Butterfly Mansion just chilling with the boys, you know. So yeah. Anyways, I thought it was a strong opening. I'd love to hear kind of you guys's kind of reactions to other parts that you really liked. Generally, I mean, we can kind of go wherever with this, but yeah, other parts that stood out to you guys.
I mean, one big thing that I've noticed throughout the episode was just the difference in the music. There were a lot of I guess I haven't been really like someone to listen to kind of like pay attention to the soundtrack in something like this. I'm like, oh, I just want to see Demon's Head fly, you know. I'm not here to listen to what's going on. I just want to see action. But kind of hearing the music during this entire episode was actually like super hype. I was like, oh my goodness. I didn't realize how well they incorporated all of the themes of the different Demon Slayers and different seasons. Like we have Tanjiro's theme kind of make this like epic comeback, and then we have sometimes like Rengoku's theme kind of wrapped in that, and also Tengen's theme. And I mean, it makes sense, right? The entire season's called to the Hashira Training, right? And so it makes sense that they're going to be combining it, but they're doing it in such a like combining all of those themes in such a great way that kind of makes it play off of each other. And I think it was just been awesome. But that was one of the biggest things that kind of I looked at and saw at the beginning.
There's two big things, but let's talk about one of them. I thought it was crazy how already Tengen's been recruited. Because like there's the master's dying, right? They're all huddled together, and I'll let Jake talk about Gyu. But like the fact that Tengen's like, I'm retired, and then they're like, we need to call back the retired Hashira, and he's like, all right, bet, I'll help you out. I was like, dang, like, are you actually retired, bro? Or are you just like trying to hang out with the wives or something, bro? Like, I thought that was interesting that it was that quick, but
yeah. Well, I thought it was really cool. Again, you know, moving towards kind of the end and where we're going to see the storyline go for the season. The whole idea of the Hashira training is kind of sick. Like the fact that they're like, we all got to step up our game, right? Because we have to awaken this like Demon Slayer mark, you know, which we can talk about in a few minutes. But their whole process for this is like, let's play to the strengths of all of our strongest swordsmen, even the retired ones, right? And so I thought it was cool how it's like, you know, Tengen is going to come back and he's going to be kind of the first stage where it's like, he's going to make sure your body is like ready, you know, he's kind of like the conditioning, like, let's get you back in training camp type guy, you know? And then from there, it goes, you know, to Mitsuri for flexibility and for, I can't remember what all of them were, but it was cool to see, you know, this guy's got your sword training, this guy's got like your strength training. And so I thought it was cool. And hopefully we see throughout this season, kind of like each different Hashira and like what their specialty is and what they can bring to the table, right? Because I think like Sanemi's was like infinite or like endless slashes or eternal slashes or something like that. And it's like, dude, these guys are literally just gonna sit here and like swing their swords a million times, you know? But like that's the thing that I love about Demon Slayer is obviously it's anime, right? Obviously it's gonna be a bit dramatic, but like the training aspect of it where it's like, well, like how else are you going to get stronger? You're just going to like train till you're going to die, and then you're just going to like keep on training and you're going to get stronger. So like that aspect of it I loved. I thought was really cool. So
yeah, I mean the whole aspect of it, like the reason why they're doing this training is for it's twofold, right? It's the to unlock their greatest potential, their Demon Slayer mark.
mhm.
But the first one that it's because they need to protect Nezuko.
Yeah.
She is finally a demon that can stay out in the sun, and they all know that. They know Muzan is going to be coming for her in full force, and we got to be ready for that. Like, no place is safe, so we got to start getting as much as our forces right now. Right? We kind of hear this during the much of the next or the last few seasons where they're like, we're losing demon slayers, like we're losing people, and our that we can't afford because our forces are dwindling. That's why it like Iguro comes up after Entertainment District and was like, Tengen, when are you gonna be back into fighting order? Because like even you at your worst is better than some of these um lame lame little demon slayers. And so like you kind of see that there's this aspect of they need people, they need uh like demon slayers who are willing to take the battle. And so I really like that at the beginning too, where it's like they're incorporating this aspect of it. It's not just about, getting stronger to beat demons, it's to protect this asset that they have that if Muzan gets it, it's game over. Like he's gonna rule the world. And it's also to like make them stronger and to become, like Tandro's already has, Mitsuri did and Moichiro did during Swordsmith Village to unlock their Demon Slayer mark. So
Yeah, which I thought was interesting. And they again kind of getting into that second aspect, like you were saying, unlocking the Demon Slayer mark. I thought that it was cool backstory that they kind of gave us. Again, in saying, we have these ancient texts from this swordsman who existed in again some time period like hundreds of years before, right? The Demon Slayer who almost killed Muzan, and talking about how he awakened his like Demon Slayer mark, and then around him the different like other Demon Slayers, like they started awakening their marks, and it made them like stronger swordsmen and stuff. And the fact that they kind of talk about like in each generation when this happens, there's always like the first one whose mark appears, and then the other swordsmen around him are kind of elevated as well. And then they're all like, for some reason, like Tanjiro's that guy in this generation,
right.
And so like that was kind of sick. Obviously, he's the main character, so yeah, it's gonna be him. But I thought it was cool how then they kind of explain it. And Tanjiro's like, I can't really explain like what happened. Like I just felt like my body just feels like it's on fire, And then Mitsuri says the same thing too. And it's cool because if you watch the two episodes together, right? Like Mitsuri, she talks about like raising her heart rate. She's the love Hashira and she's just getting stronger, right? But then you come to find out, and again, I don't know a lot about this. I only saw the movie once, but I think they were saying you can only unlock the Demon Slayer mark if your heart rate is above like 200 beats per minute or something like that. Which was crazy because like all of the Hashira, like after they find that out, they're like, dude, if your heart rate's above 200, like you would die, bro. Like your body can't, like you can't withstand that, right? And so that again was another, again, it's anime, it's far-fetched, but was kind of a cool concept of like you have to be like physically at your limit in order to like trigger this change where you go from like I'm just some random sword, like some random demon slayer, to now I'm like the GOAT, like I can just unload, which we saw Moichiro and Mitsuri do in the last season, as well as Tanjiro, both in the Entertainment District story arc, but also in Swordsmith Village as well. He's kind of like mastered what that feels like. So now he can kind of go in and out of that state at will, which is kind of sick. So
Yeah.
Didn't
Well,
they-
and oh, sorry, go
No,
Lucas,
you're
keep
good.
going.
I was just gonna say, didn't they call them like the dudes who first unlocked it? Didn't they call them like the masters of the first breathing or something? It was something like
oh, that's
ominous and cool like that, where it's like
Yeah, I
their
don't
first breathers. Anyways, but that's I just thought that was kind of interesting.
yeah.
Well, I was just gonna add. You said everyone's being recruited to like protect the asset, right? And that was my other thing I liked was like they recruited Tengen, but also like they're recruiting Lady Tamayo, who originally felt like this like, oh hey, she's helping Tanjiro before he even like becomes a real demon slayer. And now it's like, okay, this random demon chick that's like a scientist at this point is gonna help the entire Ashura, like, with all their whatever research or anything that they need to win the war. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about her and her impact y'all think she's gonna have, for the rest of the show. Because I thought she was honestly after season 1, I thought, oh, I don't know what she's gonna do, right? Tanjiro's just gonna obviously keep sending her samples and not mention her to anyone. But sure enough, the master knows, bro. He knows all.
Yeah, no, I thought that was cool because again, the master of the mansion, Kaguya, he's like he knows about Lady Tamiyo, right? But no one else really does because in season 1, when Tanjiro originally meets the master of the mansion, he's kind of like, oh, like say hi to Lady Tamiyo for me, or he makes some comment about Lady Tamiyo, but that's like all you hear. And like you were saying, it's like we didn't think that she was going to be an important character because Tanjiro was just like, oh yeah, here's like some random blood samples, but like she's never in the show, right? So the fact that they bring her back and now like that was kind of like the big cliffhanger. Well, one of the big cliffhangers at the end of the first episode was like, okay, so Lady Tamiyo is going to team up with like the Demon Slayers, like. So again, like my thought process going into that is like, is she going to help them figure out like something about the demons, right? Is there some way that she's going to help them like track down Muzan? Or is she going to be recruited on solely to help the master of the mansion, right? Because maybe, Kaguya, he's been trying to like heal himself from whatever like crazy disease or some whatever is going on with his body where he's like literally on the edge of death right now, and will probably die. Is Tamayo coming on to help him out, or is Tamayo coming on solely to just kind of give them a different perspective and help train them to be better demon slayers? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was interesting too because you also see her reaction when she finds it. She goes, I've been called to like the Demon Slayer's headquarters, right? Which is interesting because that for some reason, like Lady Tamayo has not been found by Muzan yet because otherwise she would have died at this point. But it's interesting that he still has a connection to her, right? With being his blood and everything. Because you find out that after Nezuko, conquers the sun, he finds out, he knows someone has conquered the sun, and I need to find that person, right? And it's interesting because it's like that could be a security risk, and some people may not understand why they're bringing a demon right into the headquarters, like you said, Jason. But the master of the mansion knows all, and he's like, I know that this could be a potential risk, but I know that the greater reward of finding a cure for people being turned into demons is way better than trying to kind of do this at separate, right? Because you have Lady Tamayo's work, and then we have Shinobu's work, where they're kind of both fighting the same thing. But Master Kagaya, he says, no, let's work together because I know we can create something, right? And so Lady Tamayo's work has already been kind of somewhat like proven or like significant because she's able to help that one guy who got turned into a demon at the beginning and helped him just be able to live on just a little bit of blood. but not have like those aggressive tendencies to kill people. And just like herself and Yuriko, I think is his name.
Yeah.
But it's just interesting because it's like, oh my goodness, we're finally going to see a demon enter into the Hashira, and I want to see or enter into the headquarters and see what the Hashira think about that, right? So it'll be interesting.
Well, I mean, we've already seen that a little bit with Nezuko, right? Like they didn't like Nezuko come in, and obviously the Wind Hashira. I mean, even Rengoku, dude. Like I've had friends watch the show, and Rengoku is like so opposed to Nezuko showing up. But again, Nezuko has been able to win over the Demon Slayer Corps. And Rengoku, when he's dying, is like, she's one of us, you know? Like, I saw Nezuko fight to protect, like, mankind against the demons. Like, I accept her into our ranks, you know? And then we've seen the same thing, too, with Tengen, and again, more with Mitsuri, but again, with Muichiro as well. Like, she's kind of made this name for herself. So I'm curious to see what that relationship will be with Lady Tamayo. And like you're saying, you know, she'll likely play a large role with Shinobu. And the two of them kind of working together, kind of being the foremost knowledge on like healing and different types of medicines and such. But again, it wasn't exactly what I was expecting, but I think it'll be a cool aspect of this season and possibly the rest of the show moving forward. So yeah. One part as well, I don't know if you had anything to add there, Jason, but one part of the season you had already brought up, again, as a big Giyu Tomioka fan, I think that he will play a larger role in this season, and I'm interested to see what that role will be. For whatever reason, he kind of again, Giyu's sort of a loner, you know, he does his own thing, very much his own man. Obviously he's really instrumental in kind of defending Nezuko back in season 1 and being like, you know, she's a good demon and stuff, and he kind of stood alone in that thought process. And so again, you know, are we really surprised that Giyu kind of stormed out of the Hashira meeting and isn't really taking place or like taking part in the Hashira training? Like, I can't say I'm 100% surprised, but at the same time too, like, I don't know like what his role will be this season. And you know, the other big question mark at the end of this first episode, one was Lady Tamayo and what her role is, but then two was, you know, like why did Giyu storm out? Like, why is he not taking part in the Hashira training? But as well, Tanjiro gets a letter from the master of the mansion, like telling him that Giyu isn't taking part in the Hashira training. And so my question is, you know, like, what exactly did that letter contain that went to Tanjiro? And will this season focus a lot on like Tanjiro going to find Giyu Tomioka, and will we finally get like his backstory and, you know, what he's all about? So I don't know. I'd love to hear you guys' take on that. Do you think he'll be a more central figure this season and so on?
I can go. I just think there's some relation with that upper one, whether it's Tanjiro or Giyu. I think that's gonna be related to him not being in the training in some regard. I don't know. Maybe he's already had an experience with the tattoo, the Hashira thing that they're all training for. But I do think he's a little different because he witnessed the season 1, episode 1 of Nezuko, like her not being a normal demon, and and that's what I think separated him from everyone else, is he saw it happen. Every time they flash back to anything related to Tanjiro's family, bro, anytime across the entire show, bro, it's just like the most heart-wrenching thing ever. Like Mugen Train running away from his family and then having to like continuously cut his head off, right? And then like this past episode, it shows her like trying to like hold herself back from trying to kill him in the first episode, and you're like, bro, like we've been through so much. This show's been such a roller coaster, and to see them all the Hashira like change their perspective on who she is, and to literally team up and do whatever it takes to protect her is really cool. But yeah, in regards to Giyu specifically, I just think he plays a bigger role somewhere that we're not seeing, and only the master knows. Obviously, we also haven't talked about how the heck is the master dying? Like, what's his sickness? I still don't know. Like, am I supposed to know that? Like,
No, I don't think we are. I think that is like something that is important to the storyline, but has been like cleverly left out, right?
okay, that's what I feel like too.
Yeah. I mean, it's always interesting because Gyu's been kind of like what you're saying, Jake. He's been that interesting, like that loner character that we see like make a few celebrity guest appearances and then he just leaves, right? He just like kind of dips. And we haven't really get to see him except in season 1 where he fights when he absolutely decimates lower 5 and just without even trying, right? He just goes up and he's like, "Hey, thanks for showing up. But I got this." All right. Just Rex. And so he's in this character that you're just like, I want to see more about him. Like, let's see what makes Gyu tick. And I really hope we get that. And especially now that they're calling back like old retired Hashira, I'm hoping we see Urokodaki as well. Because
That would be great.
that will be an insane reunion between, Gyu and Urokodaki, who, know each other, trained with each other, and kind of almost he passed down that lineage, right? Like he is Urokodaki's predecessor. And so I'm just super excited to see that.
Well, Lucas, think about this. Urokodaki in Tanjiro's training in the first season, first 4 episodes, that hooks every person that watches the show. Literally hooks every single person. He trains with Makomo and Sabito, who are dead.
Yep.
Who's to say dead Hashira don't show up, bro, to something, to help with this?
Okay.
Like, we don't know. We don't know. None of us
Don't
have
do that,
seen this,
man.
bro. But who's to say Sabito doesn't show up somehow and like spirit form?
You mean
Okay.
and Rengoku? Okay, the one that I've been thinking about.
That's wild.
Yeah, I don't know. Just food for thought. Food for thought.
No, I think that would be so cool. Honestly, I didn't even think about that one. But yeah, like
that's so cool.
the Sabito and Makomo were like some of the coolest characters from season 1, right?
Right.
And then they have the whole plot twist of like, yeah, actually they were dead the whole time. Like Urokodaki's like, how does he know like the people from the dead?
Right.
And
like
so that would
student.
be crazy, dude. If like Rengoku showed up or some of these other past Demon Slayers, like that would be wild.
Yeah.
So.
That would be insane.
Yeah, no, that'd be really cool. Anyways, yeah, I think from there, that's kind of like all that I had. I don't know if you guys have predictions or early thoughts on where the season is going to go as a whole, but I think the overall storyline, and again, kind of wrapping up our thoughts with you, Tomioka, as well. I don't know if you guys stayed and watched the credits, but in the credits, they had kind of a couple little like scenes that it looks like we'll see later on in the show. And there was a part where you see the Wind Hashira and he's like training with all the like lower rank Demon Slayers. And he's like, how am I ever going to get my heart rate up training against these guys?
Yeah, right.
And then in like the credits, it looks like there's a scene where it's Sanemi, the Wind Hashira, versus Gyu, and they're kind of like squaring off, like they're gonna fight each other. So like that's one of my kind of like predictions, if you will, or one of the things I think they were kind of foreshadowing in this season is I think we'll get to see even like Hashira versus Hashira, not in like a hey we're gonna kill each other type way, but like the only way to get like valid training against someone of your same skill level is if you go toe to toe with Hashira, which would be freaking cool to see. I don't know.
Yeah.
If I don't see the big guy, the head
Stone
honcho
Hashira.
Hashira,
Yeah.
if I don't see that man do something, bro, that's another season of reading these articles of him being the strongest and not seeing him do anything. So let's hope to see him do something, bro. I just want to see him not use a freaking katana and just bash freaking demons, dude.
So the one cool thing that we did see, and again, I agree. I always think you go online and you watch like these rankings of like who's the strongest Hashira, right? And it's always like every single list, number one is like the Stone Hashira, Guillaume.
Yeah,
And you're like,
without a
okay.
doubt.
And then from there onto the bottom, it's always like all these random people, you know? But every list has him as number one. I think the one cool thing that we did see from him this season is when all of the Hashira get up and they're all like yelling at each other and arguing, and he like claps his hands, and then it's like dead silent. Like everyone stops talking, and he's like, "We're gonna talk about this right now." Like he's at least with the Hashira, he's established himself as this like, I will keep you all together, you know. But I agree. Other than that, we haven't seen anything. He just cries. He's just like a kind of like a monk. He's just like he's blind, right? Like there's so many questions around him, but we know he's got to be cool. So I would love to again see him more in this season too.
Well, and first off, maybe he used that sleeper number 2. You know, maybe that's what he is, and that's why. But we also see Inosuke and Zenitsu for the first time all for a whole season. And Genya's back, right? So Genya's kind of like this random. He's like the other guy. Him and Kano are like these the other two that are like not scrubbed, but they're like not Hashira. So like that's like their squad of 5, right? It's like Andro, Inosuke, Zenitsu, Genya, and Kano, and then obviously Nezuko. There's 6 of them, right? And so it's like interesting how they're gonna fit in if they're gonna just like. Obviously, some of them are probably gonna become Hashira when people die, but like.
Or
they're going to be like 12 leaders versus like 5 leaders, you know?
Yeah.
Spoilers, I've never actually read or seen anything past what was released, but I'm assuming some big names die if Rengoku died, so.
Yeah,
I know.
The way that I see it in Demon Slayer, no character is safe. Like, every character could die in the end.
Except for Tanjiro, bro.
Dude, but even then,
bro.
Even then, what if he dies to save Nezuko in the end? Like, I wouldn't see them going past that. Like
from fatigue, bro.
Yeah.
I've seen too many TV shows, live action, animated, rom-com, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be action, bro. Like I know plot immunity when I see it, bro. I know plot immunity when I see it. Could be wrong. This could blow up and I could look like an idiot. But like, bro, I don't know, man. I'm pretty solid. Yeah, Tanjiro might make it through the end.
Nah, dude. I think all the manga readers are probably laughing at you right now. They're like, "Oh,
dude,
go watch any anime, bro. People die."
Yeah. All the manga readers in the comments, bro, they won't hold back. We're about to get flamed for all of our like lukewarm takes over here.
Bro, but I'm watching Attack on Titan and like Eren Yeager.
Everyone dies in that.
No, but Eren Yeager's died like 4 times and he's never died, bro. He just keeps living.
Oh my god.
No, I will say Naruto in some ways is kind of the same. Like characters do die and stay dead, but like all the different jutsus to like bring people back to life too. Like I don't know. I get that. Maybe they do something similar in Demon Slayer. I don't know, but I know that is one
Tanjiro
of the reasons.
becomes Muzan, bro, and he like he has full control of the blood, bro, and he can like remove it from Nezuko, bro.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know. I think yeah. It'll be interesting to see it. And I think that's honestly one of the things that's most engaging about the show to me. One, the art style is epic. The soundtrack is amazing. Like visually, I'm hooked, but also no one's safe. Like, and that's one of the things that I like about anime is it actually is high stakes. You know, like people will die. You will have these heart-wrenching moments, but it just makes the show, I think, that much more epic and makes it that much more enjoyable in the end. So yeah.
Agreed. I mean, I basically what everyone has been saying, I love. I think to me, kind of ditto to what everyone said, but one thing I'm excited to see is that reunion between Sanemi and Genya. Because all we've heard is that he's just trying to work as hard as he can to make it back to his brother, right? And Sanemi basically disowned him. And so I'm excited to see like what that interaction is going to be like and see what ends up happening. And so I don't know. I just wanted to throw that in there because I'm excited to see everything else, right? If we can see, if anyone wants dead characters come back to life, it's me, bro. I want to see Rengoku back again.
Rematch Rengoku Akaza, bro.
Dude, come on, bro. Come on, bro.
No, dude, Tanjiro. I'm here for the Tanjiro Akaza fight. Tanjiro's got to avenge our boy Rengoku.
Dude,
Bro,
I'm
bro.
so here for that too. I'm
Dude,
so here
come
for
on.
that.
There's only 3 of them left, bro. There's only 3 upper demons left, and Muzan. And then I don't know if you.
And he
count
says
the-
in the finale of the last season, he's like, I don't need to share my blood anymore. So it's pretty much like all the grunts plus the 4 legit ones versus like 12 capable Hashira and a bunch of grunts. So grunts v
right.
grunts and then 4v10 or whatever it is. 4v11.
Yeah.
One
That'll
of
be
them
crazy.
has a Nichirin sword though. That's gonna be crazy.
It'll be nuts.
Oh, excited! I'm excited to hit.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's about it. If we, when these episodes start coming out, we'll start releasing some reviews for those. So check back, and we'll definitely get there. But I think overall, we're just pumped to see the next season and excited to see how the Hashira training goes. So we'll check back with new content as those come out.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.